Thanks for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
And we are a podcast about all things strange and unusual, death and UFOs, and other creepy,
Cults,
weird, random
ghosts.
stories. There you go.
Yeah. No, I'm just naming things in the room.
Oh my God.
There's a cult of ghosts. Ray Gun Radio presents
Middle Aged and Mediocre. You want to jump in with the beginning here?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so good at improv. Just let me think for like a couple hours.
So the intro just played. Robot sound goes off.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Joel. Welcome back to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I hope I didn't startle you by starting the episode. Normally that's Cash's job, but he's chewing on his beard. But he's he's here now, beard out of his mouth.
Ugh. I forgot I had beard wax stuff in.
Plus that packet of ketchup you put in there.
All that ketchup. Yeah. It's my sucking ketchup. Just throughout the day, just like that.
Yeah. That's a tasty
again.
beard.
I did the same thing again.
You let me have a taste first.
Yeah, here you go.
Nah, I'm good now.
Okay.
I don't want sloppy seconds. I had first taste.
I would just like to say, real quick as a disclaimer for our show, when you listen to our show, please come in expecting just the dirt worst content.
Expect nothing and you'll still be
Exactly.
disappointed.
I just want all of you to have very low expectations when you
Yeah.
listen to us, so we shock you by how good we turned out to be.
Yeah, could be better than expected maybe. But that's why I don't start episodes.
And that's our welcome to all of you this week for another episode of Middle Aged and Mediocre, and we are actually back to talking about murder.
Cool.
It's been too long.
Yeah, it has.
We've been
Mothman didn't kill anybody.
Mothman don't hurt nobody.
No.
Never has, never will.
We spent a lot of time on that
I
fella.
mean, he killed a dog, I think. I'm not too happy about that.
But that's circle of life.
I guess.
Yeah.
But, take a human.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Step a little bit out of bounds of the circle.
That circle, yeah, but that would still be circle of life. He's an animal.
Yeah,
we're animals.
We're all animals, baby.
Yep. We're all mammals.
Mothman, if you're listening to this, don't kill any more dogs, man.
Yeah.
Other than that,
People only.
you do you. But yeah, then we did a fun episode where we just talked about some fun things.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you guys haven't listened to that one yet, it's honestly funny. Like, it's really funny, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're, a little
Biased,
yeah. But I really did think
I hate myself, so I'm not biased at all. And like for that hour, I'm like, man, I'm not so bad.
Yeah. So check that one out.
This guy, I might be able to get used to him.
And then
afterwards, I can't.
Did you listen to the last episode we did, the movie review?
Yep.
Did you listen to it? What'd you think of it? If you did,
I have not, but it sounded great.
Okay. It's the first one I've actually went through and edited in sound clips.
Oh yeah. I wanted to listen to that because you told me about that.
Yeah,
I want
so
to listen to that.
It's a
No holds barred.
little bit extra.
Oh, good job, Josh.
Thanks, man.
Or Cash is your podcast name.
I'm getting better with every episode.
Yeah.
Just doing more and more.
And I'm just staying mediocre, baby.
I couldn't figure out how to get the sound to work the way we wanted it, so I figured the least I could do was spruce up the episode a little bit.
But this one we switched from stereo to mono. I don't want to get too technical because I don't know what that means. But you were like, we're going to switch from stereo to mono. And I was like, okay.
So hopefully this entire thing isn't just being recorded for no reason.
Yeah.
But, I think we're doing fine. It looks like it on the little audio thing here, Audacity.
You still won't let me look at the screen, so I
won't.
don't know.
I won't. Well, because I always keep some weird stuff up as
you have like blinders on the side of it. Like I can't even. Yeah. The whole thing's a blanket.
If you look
You're under a blanket right now, and like the blanket's over you, the microphone, and the screen.
And if you lift up the blanket, the end scene in the lighthouse.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get if you lift up the blanket.
Cool.
Like human eyes can't see this. I'm doing this for
You're
your
in your
protection.
fort.
Mm-hmm. I'm in my Cthulhu fort.
Yep. I'm here facing the wall like always.
Like Blair Witch movie. Yeah, so go check out the No Holds Barred review.
I'm going to.
It's a good one too. If you guys, we talk about, it's the Hulk Hogan movie. So that piece of garbage. I made a little intro. I made a little title image of it with our faces.
Yeah.
So that turned out really well.
I was Zeus.
You were Zeus.
You were Hulk Hogan. Finally.
I think you should get the J.
You like that
in your head? Yeah.
I had when I was a younger man, I had the sideburns that went up and around my ear, so I kind of had like a upside down, backwards J, like yeah. And I had it for one day and went to work at Bob Evans, and my manager's like, "You can't walk around." Like I had him dyed red too. He's like, "You can't work here like that." I was like, "Why not?" Like I didn't get it.
Well, I mean, you had that hair when you interviewed, right?
No.
Oh.
Like technically at Bob Evans, you couldn't even have facial hair or anything, but I always like kind of had shaved my head and just had sideburns, like a weirdo. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, let's shave them. Let's like cut it, around my ear and dye it red, and that'll be fun."
We've all done dumb things with our hair. Mine was green once.
Oh, nice.
That was awful.
Mine was
stupid.
Yeah, I think I went blonde right before I shaved it. So I was,
That's weird to think of you with blonde hair
or
hair.
With any hair, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have dreams where you have hair? I mean, I don't want hair. Like, I'm good being bald. Like, I'm fine with it, Some guys can pull it off. You know? Me.
Yeah.
But I still have dreams, like, where I'll have hair. And it's just, like, it's so flowing and long. And, like, in my dream, I'm like, oh, I'm not bald. This is the best. And I don't wake up sad, but I just wake up and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was another hair dream.
Grab the dream diary. No, I don't think I've ever. Oh, man. I don't think I ever have.
It's kind of like phantom limbs,
Right. I don't think
where you lose an arm, but you can still feel it there.
I'm not sure how well of a self-image I have of myself when I'm in my dreams. Like I know it's me.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can actually put details to it.
Like you don't see yourself. You're just seeing everything else around you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're looking in the mirror, I think.
I think it's just I know I have hair.
Like it's an alternate
I can feel
dream.
it the way I move my head around. I mean,
you can actually.
Yeah.
Man, I think you really want hair. I don't think you're as fine with the bald look as you think you are.
Look. Like, you just have to be fine with stuff, okay? Because there's nothing you can do about it.
What you're thinking is settling.
I'm not gonna get I'm not gonna get like a wig or like a hairpiece or anything.
I really wish right then you would have pulled off your beanie.
I turned around behind me. I was like, "What? Is your hair sneaking up on me?"
So hey,
is that the episode?
What are we even doing?
I don't even know.
What even is this show?
Oh,
hey, I'll tell you what we're doing.
We're back.
We're back, baby. We're going to do a listener-submitted story. I'm going to read you a story that our buddy Noah Wingfield sent us.
Yep. Is it full of mayhem?
It's full, yeah. He's a professional wrestler. He's actually one of mine and Vance Desmond's student.
Yep.
He
Violence
graduated
Academy.
from our training school. He wrestles as Misery.
Misery. Why did I say mayhem?
No, you're right. He wrestles as Mayhem.
All right.
Yeah, I always say Misery for some reason.
Love you, Noah.
Yeah, so he sent us a story the other day, and I'll just read it as he sent it. So, again, this is from our buddy Noah. We moved to this trailer in Crystal Springs, West Virginia, right outside of Elkins when I was probably 12 or so. We didn't know anything had happened there. And this all started out with small stuff. We would all smell gunpowder late at night occasionally, which was weird and random. There was also this neighbor that lived up the road, and he would go on walks or whatever and talk to us in the yard while we'd be outside doing shit. We'd always invite him in for a drink or whatever, and he would never set foot in the house, which we thought was kind of odd. The first kind of creepy thing happened when I had a friend over one night, and we were watching TV in the living room. Granted, it was windy this night, but not windy enough to cause what happened next. Out of nowhere, the living room door violently burst open so hard that the blinds literally got thrown across the yard. It's pretty hard.
Wow.
The scariest thing that happened was the lady in the mirror. If it just happened to one person, I probably wouldn't believe it, but it happened to me, my mom, my stepdad, and even my aunt who was visiting. You'd walk, and that's how you know it's legit.
Yeah.
I had that
Got
part.
that anti-stamp.
And you'd walk into the back bathroom. And
Whoa, back bathroom, which means he probably had more than one.
That's right. And look in the
Showing
mirror
off, Noah.
and see the reflection of a woman standing in the bathtub.
She naked?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Ah,
You can whatever you want to picture.
All right.
Is what that was.
okay.
That's what she was.
So Pamela Anderson, naked in the bathtub.
We used to have parties in our yard in the summer, and my mom said that even several of her friends also said that they saw a woman through the bathroom window. She had blonde hair and a green dress, and when you look behind you, she was gone.
So she was not naked.
She was not naked.
Okay, that's all right.
She was in a
though.
green dress.
We're just getting the facts
Maybe
straight.
she's just holding the green dress.
Oh,
She might
okay,
still be
yeah.
naked. Needless to say, we didn't use that bathroom after a while. So they do have multiple bathrooms. Fancy trailer. We probably lived there for only 6 months to a year, and none of us were told what had actually happened in that house or that trailer until after we moved. So that weird neighbor that would never come in the house had lived in that trailer as a kid. One night, his dad woke him up and told him to go to his grandma's house, which was right up the road. Once he left the trailer, his dad shot his mom and then blew his own head off in the back bathroom. Noah says here that he should note. I should also note that at the time we lived there, I was getting into occult stuff for the first time, Ouija boards, tarot cards, things of that nature. I don't necessarily believe there's any correlation between that and the weird stuff that happened there, but it's a fact, and I think it makes the story more interesting. So I thought I should mention that as well.
I can see a correlation
Mm-hmm.
in that because he's open.
But kind of weird that the dude that wouldn't come in the trailer had lived there as a kid, and his dad, killed his mom and shot himself. Noah, I think put.
I wouldn't want to go back in the trailer either.
And then his dad shot. He put I don't know if it's the kid's mom or what, but whatever. So yeah, that's a little weird story from our buddy Noah.
And where was that at? Did it say what part of West Virginia?
Crystal Springs, right outside of Elkins.
Let's go.
Yeah, so
this could be another investigation.
Yes.
The gunpowder, that was me. I would sneak in and just rub a little gunpowder underneath everyone's noses while they slept.
It's just the thing you do.
Yeah, I did it for all of Crystal Springs, though.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy, though.
Yeah, so...
especially the door flying open and...
Right, knock the blinds out of the... yeah. So, those trailers,
in two bathrooms?
Weird things happen in trailers.
I mean, that's going to take a while to let that settle in the old brain.
You're going to have to...
That's like way more than one.
Right, yeah. That's basically double.
It's twice as many.
It's twice as many in a trailer. I used to live in a trailer. Having two bathrooms, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for submitting the story, Noah. If anybody out there wants to submit a story for us to read, you can message us on our Facebook page.
Tell us how many bathrooms you have.
Yeah, if you don't include the amount of bathrooms, we're not going to read the story. You can either message us on Facebook, facebook.com/middleaged and mediocre, or email us at middleagedmediocre@gmail.com. And just in the subject line, listener story, my story, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love to have more people submit their stories. We'll read them online. Include your Twitter handle, your Facebook page, whatever social media you want thrown out there.
Does he have social media? Is he on Twitter?
Oh, Noah, yeah. Again, if you go look up Mayhem.
Mayhem, yep.
Mayhym. I think
Not
that's how he spells
Misery.
it. Not Misery.
Yeah.
So,
I knew that.
Today, we're going back to October 16th, 1933.
1933.
And we are going to talk about Victor Licata, the marijuana maniac.
I like him.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that guy. Like I said, October 16th, 1933, the Tampa neighborhood where the Licata family lived was up and running like neighborhoods typically are. A lot of moving and shaking, a lot of hustling and or bustling.
Oh.
But there was
You can't have hustling without bustling.
You know what? I think you got to have both at all times. Yeah, I don't know what would happen if you didn't bustle while you hustle.
Let's not find out.
That's not. We can't afford to risk it.
No.
So yeah, everyone's the whole neighborhood's out and about. But where were the Licatas? What was going on with them? There wasn't a whole lot going on in the household. It seemed like Mr. Licata ran two different barbershops. and he hadn't left for work yet, which was weird. Basically, all the behavior, like there was no noise coming from the house.
No sign of life.
No sign of life. And the night before, a couple of neighbors had later said that they heard loud noises coming from the house that previous night. Someone contacted the authorities to go do a wellness check. Police knocked. Nobody answered. They tried to open the front door, but all the doors were locked, and the police had to go through a back window. Once they got in the Licata home, it was pretty obvious that some terrible shit had went down. They found Michael Licata, age 47, dead from an axe blow to the head.
Eek. Was someone trying to cut his hair?
There were signs of a struggle.
That's not how you cut hair.
I've
had dreams about it.
Well, he went to learn from Michael, and Michael wouldn't teach him.
Yeah. So axe to the back of his head.
So, he had to ask him a question.
Oh, shut it down. Shut it. That's awful.
Yay. Go me.
No.
Yes. Trophy. Send trophies.
This man died.
Send trophies and awards.
And you're punishing him.
Or even.
Right.
There was clearly signs of a struggle. And Michael's body had been wedged between the bed and the wall. His wife, Rosalia, age 44.
That's a pretty name.
Mm-hmm. His daughter, Providence.
Aww.
A lot of good names here. Yeah. Age 22. His youngest son.
That'd be like his daughter, Nevaeh. It's heaven backwards.
Backwards. And then his youngest son, Jose Licata.
Oh, I like that.
Only 8 years old.
Oh.
Was also found murdered inside. Each one dead from a blow to the head with an axe.
Jesus.
Then police discovered another son, Philip, age 14. Philippe. He was still breathing and moving when they arrived. He was rushed to the hospital where he would die soon afterward.
Man, I had a little bit of hope that Philip maybe lived.
Sorry about that. So police continued searching the house. In the bathroom at the back of the house, another two-bathroomer.
Wow.
They found the oldest son, Victor Licata.
I only have one bathroom, and it's really, like, I've never felt worse about it than before tonight.
I've only lived in one place with more than one bathroom.
But I do have a bucket, so I guess I kind of have two bathrooms.
You have a sink, too, right?
Yeah, 2 sinks.
There you go. And then you have a whole front yard.
Yep.
So,
well, not really. I have, like, parking out front.
You have a little space.
Yeah.
You could say the world's your toilet. So they found Victor, age 21, not dead. Instead, he was cowering in fear and talking to himself. He was, some reports say covered in blood. Others differ. So, this is 1933.
Yeah.
Officer W.D. Bush asked him while they were still in the bathroom, "What's the matter, Victor? Why'd you kill your family?" Licata Victor only stared with a crazed look in his eye. Officer Bush tried to ask him to get in the police car. "Why'd you kill your family?" Victor responded by asking, "Did I do that?" It's literally, that's what he asked. He asked, "Did I do that?" But
and he said, "Got any cheese?"
Did he have any other catchphrases?
Urkel. We're talking about Urkel
We're
from
talking about
Family
Urkel.
Matters, for people that don't know.
But everybody knows.
I don't know if everybody knows.
Well, you thought Michael Jai White was Urkel grown up.
Yeah.
So
I still kind of do.
You still kind of do. That's.
You'll say something, I'll be like, "Oh, okay," but
really,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just say that so like you'll quit looking at me.
Victor told authorities that he'd had a dream where his father had cornered him in the house and started hurting him. His mother had stood there mocking him in his attempts to get away. His brother had entered with a carving knife and also began to taunt him. The whole family severed his arms and made him new arms, wooden arms, with iron claws attached to the ends. And he says his siblings in his dream all stood in the room and laughed at him in the struggle. Licata said he grabbed a, quote, funny axe. It was rubbery, like from a cartoon, and knocked each of his family members unconscious with it and then wrung the blood from it as though it was a wet towel. So, later, talking to the Tampa, you're looking...
I'm making it weird. Yeah, people...
That was a dream he had, as he says.
Yeah.
That's what he had dreamed.
That's a pretty fucked up dream.
Yeah.
Did he have hair in his dream?
He doesn't say.
Oh, man.
I know. I wish I could find the answers for you.
Yeah.
So according to the Tampa Times, Victor told reporters, me kill my sister, my mother? Man, you're crazy. I never killed anybody.
Crazy, see?
I hit them with an axe and knocked off every motherfucker that was in there. They probably bleeped that out. Or did a thing. My uncle and some old woman, then 2 other men and 2 other women. 6 there were, not 5. I hit them all with the axe, like this. He made the axe noises. I knocked them all off, but I didn't kill them. Why didn't they let me out of here? I go to the door and they shove me back. I shake on the gates and they won't move. I'm the strongest man in the world, but the gates won't move. My arms, see, they're made of wood. They're the strongest arms in the world, but the gates won't move. My arms are strong, but they didn't kill anybody. They didn't hit anybody or hurt anybody. I had a pain in my stomach. I went to the kitchen and got a drink of water and took the bottle with me. The axe, it was on the back porch. I took it in and set it down in the fireplace. It was a funny axe. When I picked it up and wrung it out, real blood came out. Not pain, not red ink. My stomach hurt. So, what would you, as a psychologist, what would you, what are your thoughts on this man?
He done flipped this shit.
Yeah.
That's my, official diagnosis.
Right, okay, that's good. I'm pretty sure that's in the,
This shit got flipped.
Yeah, so the police could easily tell something was off with him.
They are police.
Right, they do have detective school.
Yeah, something's off with this guy. Those crazy wooden arms.
But mental illness was not the aspect of the story that the media would be interested in. One of the first and most significant pieces of news to come out about the case was that Chief Detective W.D. Bush had discovered several places where Licata had purchased reefer, and that the young man had supposedly been addicted to smoking marijuana cigarettes for more than 6 months.
Oh.
After this news surfaced, Victor became known as the Marijuana Maniac.
The Marijuana Maniac.
He was also known as the Dream Slayer.
The weed weirdo.
Dream Slayer is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
a good one. And he was used as an example by every politician who had an anti-cannabis agenda. The small detail about marijuana that was never even confirmed, so they never even confirmed that he even smoked marijuana. It's what made the case so famous that it ended up actually affecting a change in the law. But by many accounts... God
damn it, Vincent.
Victor. And his own accounts, he denied ever having even tried marijuana. So, a little bit about Victor here. He was born in Tampa, Florida in 1912. He was described as a generally shy and antisocial child. The details of his life were actually very different from those reported by the media on this case. Many of those stories...
So the media has always been getting shit wrong?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Media's never been great. Many of the stories would begin with... Don't lump our name into this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
They would
edit that out.
Begin with, quote, a quiet, normal kid smokes a marijuana cigarette and transforms into an axe murderer. Stop quote. So they basically acted like this about Victor had just been a typical American kid, and then, he tried marijuana or whatever.
That's all it takes.
But this couldn't be further from the truth.
I didn't get high the first time I smoked, but he's been smoking for 6 months, though.
Yes.
Supposedly.
He's had 6 months, very...
Yeah, so it took him 6 months.
Controversial 6 months. But this shit they're trying to sell you couldn't be further from the truth. Victor had actually struggled with mental illness starting with from a young age. And in fact, most news articles from 1933 do mention Victor's struggles with mental health. It was only later that whole thing was left out when they started going with this.
Well, it's more sensational that he,
once they went to the weed part of it, once they started focusing on that, they quit even talking about mental illness. So even though, all the original news stories all had it in there. He had actually been diagnosed with dementia precox and was considered psychotic. Because of this, he was never prosecuted for the murder of his family. He was instead committed to a mental hospital to hopefully get some help. After he was committed, though, the talk about the case didn't cease, and people continued to use Victor's story in their fight to criminalize marijuana. It was one of the favorite stories of the notorious anti-cannabis commissioner of narcotics, H.J. Anslinger. It was an inspiration for Reefer Madness.
I love Reefer Madness.
1936. I think maybe we'll watch that as our next movie review.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe the next one we do.
I have a copy of that has Mike Judge, or not Mike Judge, whatever the guy from Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's like him watching it doing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing over top of it. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I should borrow that sometime. It's a DVD.
Well, I'd probably have to get it. I used to have it. Now someone else has it. You know.
All right.
It's a messy situation.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Like that.
I should have brought it up.
It's the 1936 anti-marijuana propaganda film.
Classic.
And then writer Cornell Woolrich, who wrote a number of classic crime books, including the story that inspired Hitchcock's Rear Window, probably had this case, Victor Licata's case, in mind when he wrote a book called Marijuana, a drug-crazed killer at large. And he wrote that in 1941 under the pseudonym William Irish. So he didn't even put his own name on it. He probably, wanted to... He probably did the reefer. And was like, well, I don't want to eventually get caught doing the reefer.
He has a reputation to protect.
Yeah. So just after the murder, there were a lot of contradictory statements in newspaper articles. Some papers disagreed about what Victor was wearing when he was found. Some papers say he was found in blood-soaked underwear, while others state that the police only saw the bloody underwear when Victor removed his clean clothing. Other sources just say that
that could be from anything.
He could have pooped blood.
My dick bleeds all the fucking time.
Wow, all the time, huh?
Like, it'd be easier to tell you the times my dick isn't bleeding.
Isn't bleeding
right now? It's bleeding.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
bleeding right now.
Oh, yeah, I got 4 pair of underwear on because it's bleeding so much.
Just soak that blood
Your
up.
dick doesn't bleed?
Nah, not usually.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I would say go to a doctor, but they'll probably just say you have COVID.
Yeah.
And then, your dick has COVID, sir. But also, you're too far gone at this point. Once your dick's bleeding, time to end it.
I just thought that was something that happens. All right, I'm sorry. Go back to your story. Bloody underwear.
Bloody underwear. Some reports say no blood was ever found on him at all. Between 1933
I shouldn't have said that then.
and 1938, it wasn't just a little discrepancies anymore. The writers and the media had begun to take their own liberties with the story. By the time Anslinger's article, Marijuana, Assassination of Youth, was published in 1938, he was blatantly making up details to help support his case. In that article, Victor is described as an ordinary boy who had no mental health problems until his first puff of marijuana. Ooh. And that turned him into a stone-cold killer. There's no mention of the fact that the case was never actually prosecuted due to Victor's mental state. Everybody started leaving that part out. So basically everyone reading it would probably be like, convicted murderer, Yeah. Detective Chief W.D. Bush, who actually worked the case, also wrote an article in 1938 for Inside Detective magazine.
I hope his name is William Dick Bush.
William Dick Bush. That's his name now. It is William Dick Bush.
Well, Dick Bush, get over here.
Where am I at here? So yeah, usually in these, like, they take liberties with the story to make the story a little bit more enticing.
Yeah, shape it to the narrative that they're trying to put out there.
And so this ended up in Dick Bush, and then he had the help of a ghostwriter named Jack DeWitt. Not like it wasn't a ghost.
Yeah. I know what a ghostwriter is.
Well, I just want to make sure.
Ghost?
Zoinks.
Maybe that's who killed those people.
So yeah, it would just basically led to them lying about everything. They even sexualize one of the victims, Providence. They even make up a bizarre story about how the smart and brave family dog identified Victor as the perpetrator after he'd been attacked himself. And then the neighbors and friends all come out and confirm that the Licata family didn't even have a dog.
Yeah.
But they were just like, oh yeah, and then Lassie
came up and hit her paw, hit your paw 3 times if it was Victor.
So here's a couple of excerpts from this book. This is the sexualizing of 22-year-old axe murder victim So moonlight steamed through the window and cast. By the way, keep in mind the entire time I'm reading this, this is a story these people wrote about murder.
Yeah.
An axe murdering.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Moonlight steamed through the window and cast a soft radiance over the bed, like fairy fabric, woven of stardust and the silver brightness of a Florida night. The moonbeams fashioned a coverlet for beautiful Providence Licata. Providence slept with the tranquility that comes with 22 years of healthy young womanhood. Her hair was a dark mist against the moon-washed white of the pillow. Long lashes touched the delicate curves of her cheeks. Her full red lips were slightly parted.
Oh.
She had flung back the covers, for the night was warm, and she lay like a sleeping Venus in the soft sheen of the glorious night. Through the open window, the scent of sweet jasmine floated on a soft breeze that stirred from the Gulf.
I'm about the jasmine everywhere. All over this desk. You keep reading this story. Woo! Go on. Come on. You can't just leave me like this.
Sorry. Shit. The door opened an inch on silent hinges. Two hot eyes glared from the darkness. Providence Licata sighed. She flung one slender arm across the pillow. The warm breeze from the open window quickened and stirred the dark ringlets against her forehead. Gross.
All of it.
Fucking, this is a 22-year-old girl who was axe murdered.
Killed. And
they're talking about her goddamn parted lips and moonbeams.
And her hair. And
So then later in the book...
They're trying to get you invested in the character.
I don't need invested like that. So then they describe when the police find the scene. Let me see if I can do it. Found something? I turned and faced J. Rex Ferrier, the state's attorney. I hurried over. Oh, no, this is the attorney. I hurried over, he explained, to see if I could help. Tried to have a talk with that young fella Victor, but his mind had unhinged. The shock has been too great. I tapped the pocket where I had put the reefers. A marijuana addict did this, I said. He washed up in here and smoked a few reefers.
Oh.
So, these books are pretty
You gotta only smoke one reefer.
These addicts.
Another reefer head.
So a little bit later, we're going to dive deeper, not deep diver, dive deeper into the history of marijuana in this country. But for now, let's look at the facts in this case and try to figure out why and how it became the propaganda tool it did. So 5 people, lost their lives at the hand of an axe-wielding killer who was a part of their family. All the evidence basically indicates that Victor Licata was responsible for the murder, so I'm really not even going to, I'm not trying to argue about his guilt. He was at the scene. He was soaked with blood, according to most sources. Most importantly, his ramblings sounded like he was describing the scene.
Yeah.
Like he basically admitted to what he did.
Yeah, but it was a dream he thought or something.
Well, and when he admitted to it, he said he hit him, but he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So
he's probably in some sort of paranoid state or...
Well, we know that he has dementia precox. He knew he'd done something wrong, though. But I don't even know if he knew he did something wrong, but the way he looked at it probably was completely different than what happened.
Yeah.
That was his reality, I'm sure. He obviously knew that something had happened, but couldn't put the pieces together because of his mental illness. However, there is no actual evidence that Victor had ever even tried cannabis. There was no drug testing conducted in this case. I don't know, 1933. I don't know what kind of drug testing they did. And, basically this is just like crazy rumors and stuff going into the papers.
When was Prohibition? This was a little out there when Prohibition was? Were they still trying? Okay, but still, they're in that same, I believe, in the 30s,
So there was an interesting article that came out not too long ago about this story, where the guy who now lives in the house this took place.
Oh, wow.
He had heard stories throughout the years that Victor's father was involved in moonshine during Prohibition. He was like, whatever. And he worked for the mafia. So this guy that moves in this house recently, he starts digging in the attic and basement. He kind of starts looking.
If he found another bathroom up there, I'm going to be so pissed.
3 bathrooms.
What the Fuck!
These people didn't deserve to live.
In the attic?
No, what he found was a bunch of moonshine bottles,
All
empty
right.
jugs and stuff like that, and a pulley like system where they could lower them up and down the house. So there's a theory out there that Victor didn't even do this, that this was a mob thing of some sort, where like an opposing mob killed the family. But they talked to like a mafia historian, and he said that it's pretty unlikely that would happen because like back then mafia,
he said, forget about it.
they'd show up, shotguns, boom, kill everybody.
Yeah.
They wouldn't like say.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
So Victor, most likely he did this, but it is interesting that, it was Prohibition era, that all was going on. So, so Victor denies ever having used marijuana, and would claim he would stick by that his entire life. He wrote a book in 1939 called
Me
Wait, no,
Smoke?
sorry, this guy didn't write the book.
Okay.
Earl Roell wrote the book. It's called On the Trail of Marijuana, The Weed of Madness. He recounts a story about Victor's father making marijuana cigarettes in his home and forcing son Victor to peddle them on the street. According to this story in the book, Victor eventually started to get high on his own supply.
Well, that saying probably hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Because you don't get high on your own supply.
But, like, again, this is just a bunch of writers.
Yeah.
And they're taking the focus of this and making their
Definitely
own stories.
taking liberties and just shaping a narrative.
So he writes this, but there are zero mentions of Mike Licata being caught up in the marijuana trade in any single article before this was written. So
breaking news, dude.
Seemed to be made blatantly up by the author. But people clung to this story, and it became part of the whole when they retell it.
The myth of it.
But yeah, this is one of the most horrific
lore.
crimes that had ever been committed in the Tampa area, and politicians saw this as an opportunity to start getting their own shit passed because of it.
That's what politicians do.
Right. So there's a chance, though, that, he was high.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it pushed his psychosis to a new level. Cannabis can trigger the onset of schizophrenia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can see, like, all of it being a factor, but I don't...
Yeah.
I don't think anybody just smokes weed.
And then it's like, well...
wants to kill people.
Choppy.
Yeah. Maybe kill a whole pizza,
Well, I know that firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so cannabis can trigger the onset of schizophrenia when a person is already genetically predisposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd already known that he was suffering from mental illness. He was already diagnosed with dementia precox and was sick before this ever even happened. So there wasn't like the cannabis or the weed or whatever triggered anything.
Yeah.
It was already there.
I'm liking the mafia angle. Maybe that's why he was cowering in the bathroom. Like, that's how his brain, deals with that.
He did see the whole thing, and that's how he spun it in his head.
Yeah, just send him over the edge or something.
Well, then, I'm sure if Michael Licata's involved in this with mafia and stuff, I'm sure that the mafia, they knew his family. I'm sure mafia members knew.
They probably let him into, I could see him letting him into the house.
Or they know that that this kid has mental illness.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe they didn't know that kid was there, and he started seeing it, and he ran, Victor ran into the bathroom and was hiding. I mean, I don't know. That's just, damn, what a story.
Well, there's even, they talked about how the courts, or, the state or whatever, had tried to institutionalize Victor. Because back then, they did that.
Yeah.
Whatever. And the family promised that they would increase their care or whatever for him and to keep him out of institutions. But then they also go on to talk about how, the dad slept with a pistol under his pillow, which could lend more to the mafia theory.
Yeah. Maybe he was expecting somebody to...
Yeah.
Maybe,
or knew that there was a risk.
We're uncovering some shit.
But yeah, it's still an unsolved crime.
Technically,
because they never even prosecuted him. So,
I mean, they didn't have DNA to take back then, or
right.
I mean, it'd be so hard to what. One person, imagine one person with an axe trying to kill someone. You hit one person. I mean, I would imagine someone's gonna yell. Why wouldn't anyone run out of the house? How do you kill as one person kill 5 people with an axe.
Right. Like, it'd be rough.
Like, I mean,
and we're not talking about, like, little kids either. Like, we're talking about adults.
Yeah.
The youngest was 8.
Yeah, but his sister was older.
22,
Parents obviously
the
older.
The other brother was 14.
Yeah. The dad was some sort of mafia tie, so I'm sure he, could probably get shit done. I mean,
Well, they even said Victor's not that big. Like, he's like 5'8". Like 100 and...
I feel like it had to have been more than one person then.
Seems like it should be.
Like someone was there maybe with it, like not letting people.
Like everybody would have to be heavy.
Because if someone comes in here right now with an axe and hits you in the back of the head, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm running.
Well, okay.
I'll grab some shit. I mean, I'll get some of these wrestlers, a couple records.
I'd have felt better about it if you said that you would avenge my death immediately, but, steal my stuff, that's another route to go with it.
What are you going to do with it? You just been hitting the head with an axe.
I might not be dead. I have a thick skull.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, that.
What do you mean, yeah, you do?
You really do. I mean, I can tell from here. I mean, that's like the lumpiest part of the blanket. This is like where your head is.
It's the lumpiest part of the blanket. So, yeah, you're going with the mafia angle then.
Or somebody. I mean, maybe, yeah, I am. Something to do with the prohibition, the running of the liquor or something. Because I just can't see one person, unless it was like overnight. But I would think someone would scream.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you're not gonna get
the neighbors
like.
said they heard noises.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But who knows? They didn't say what noises, or
I mean, that's yeah.
But yeah, you got like
you
got 3 able-bodied younger people. Like no one's just like outrunning Victor.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
My parents were only 40 something. You said so they were.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's weird. Yeah.
I'm 41. I can run, not fast, but I mean, I think if someone had an axe, it might make me go a little faster.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely hiring somebody to run in here with an axe.
Oh God!
I'm gonna wait for a while. Like you're gonna forget about this conversation. I want to test your reaction. I want to see what really happens.
Shit. I'd be the fuck out of here. I'd throw Beasley at him.
Okay, well then I'm also after you. Throw me at them before Beasley.
All right.
Okay. So like you, there's a lot of people that believe he not only, or they don't even care if he tried cannabis, but they think he's completely innocent. There's some interesting evidence to examine that supports that point, that theory. There was a trend actually of axe murders in Florida in the 1920s and 30s. A Tampa Daily Times article from October '93 mentions that, including the Licata
they needed a
family,
good guy there with an axe.
Yeah, if we had good guys with axes, they'd stop the bad guys. You're right.
More axes is the answer.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, so including the Licata family, 19 people had been murdered by axes in Tampa.
Is axes the plural of axe, or is it just like 19 people have been killed by axe?
It'd be axes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But this says murdered by axe murderers in Tampa since 1926.
How many?
19 plus the Licatas, including the Licatas, so 19 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then, so there were axe murderers working in that neighborhood. And there were suspects in the other cases that had been released. So, some of these suspects back out there, if they are the ones that are doing it. So yeah, it definitely could have been done by one of the, could have definitely been done by somebody other than Victor.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I just can't see how one I just can't get over how one person could kill everyone with an axe.
In 1945, 5 men described as dangerous escaped from a mental institution in Chattahoochee. It was, of course, hotter than a hoochie coochie at the time.
Was that an Alan Jackson song?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And
way down yonder in the Chan. Ooh, is that how you get WAP?
Yes. Yeah, Alan Jackson invented WAP. So
you get a hot hoochie coochie, you gotta get some WAP.
If you got a hot hoochie coochie, you need to go see a doctor.
Call me. Oh. Yeah. I'm a doctor. So
of the 5 men, Victor was one of them. Escaped from the mental institution in 45. While the other 4 were captured and recommitted almost immediately, Victor spent 5 years on the run.
Did they ever catch him?
He worked as a laborer and moved from city to city to avoid being caught. That'd be great if Victor ran.
I know. Oh, it wouldn't be great at all.
He would be.
I'm like, hey, let's get high,
real
buddy.
old right now.
Yeah.
He was eventually.
I'll smoke with him.
He was eventually apprehended in New Orleans when, in August 1950, he visited his cousin Philip's restaurant and told him he was in Louisiana for some work. The cousin went ahead and fixed him dinner, bought him some beers, and then asked him if he'd come back the next day.
Maybe not kill me with an axe.
So when Licata did come back the next day, the cousin grabbed him and held him until the police got there.
Oh.
So his own damn family. He kills his own family, then his own family kills him. Turns him
it's like he can't trust family. Is basically the story. The moral of the story.
Right. At this time,
DTA.
At this time, Victor did acknowledge that he had committed.
Don't trust
murders.
anybody. Is DTA. Sorry.
So he admits to committing the murders.
Oh, he did.
He says, "Yeah, I did them," but he insists that he never tried marijuana in his life. So I mean, a dude that is like, "Oh yeah, I killed 5 members of my family."
But I never smoked weed.
I don't think he'd lie about it.
About smoking?
Yeah,
I know.
I don't think he actually ever smoked because why would you admit to the murders and be like, "But do not say I smoked weed."
But I mean, who knows what his mental state was after years in a mental institute?
Well, he also claims that after 12 years in the institution, he'd been declared sane, but that they wouldn't release him. I'm sure a lot of mental institution patients have that story.
Yeah.
But, according to him, they just are keeping him there.
I think this guy just has a fucked up brain, and
yeah. Well, he was once again locked up, despite having ever actually, being convicted of the murders. But he then hanged himself with a bedsheet in his cell 4 months after returning to Florida. So he's not going to be running in here. But yeah, people lost their lives. It's tragic. Family, killing family.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this story is what politicians did with it, what the media did with it.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about a little bit of anti-drug propaganda.
I won't hear of it.
That, this led to. Even though all the evidence really indicated that he'd been suffering from psychosis, the press turned him into
the marijuana monster.
The marijuana monster. Yeah, the marijuana maniac.
That's why I call myself late at night.
Marijuana. Evidence shows that a year before the murders, Tampa police had filed a petition. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, to have Licata institutionalized for mental illness.
So there's a history,
they know,
like a written history, a record
documented
of it.
history, yeah.
Not just hearsay.
The petition was withdrawn when the family vowed to increase their oversight of his behavior.
Okay, you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, so mental illness had ran in the Licata family. In prison, psychiatrists speculated that he had inherited his insanity as his parents were first cousins. One of the brothers that he
So
killed,
this was Tampa, West Virginia, then?
Tampa, West Virginia. Come on.
Tampa, Kentucky.
Come on. I like Kentucky.
Okay.
Let's just say it's Tampa. Let's just...
Florida man marries his cousin.
Yeah, come on.
Gets axed to death.
One of the brothers that he killed was also a diagnosed schizophrenic. His paternal granduncle and 2 paternal cousins had also been institutionalized for mental illness.
Okay.
So it ran rampant through this family. But the role that marijuana ended up playing in this all was, used by proponents of anti-drug laws as evidence of marijuana crime insanity. The case served to inspire media depictions of normal people driven to criminal insanity by the evil weed.
Ooh.
Like we talked about, reefer madness. It's also called Tell Your Children.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably what was originally
it was
called, right? Tell Your Children. As previously stated, the foremost proponent of the Licata story was Harry Anslinger, commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics from 1930 until 1962. He used the case to insist that marijuana usage caused insanity and criminality. In his highly influential 1937 article, Marijuana, Assassin of Youth, he wrote about Licata and his crimes. He reused the story during his testimony at the Congress hearings for the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. Quote, It was an unprovoked crime some years ago, which brought the first realization that the age-old drug had gained a foothold in America. An entire family was murdered by a youthful addict in Florida. When officers arrived at the home, they found the youth staggering about in a human slaughterhouse. With an axe, he had killed his father, his mother, 2 brothers, and a sister. He seemed to be in a daze. He had no recollection of having committed the multiple crime. The officers knew him ordinarily as a sane, rather quiet young man. I'm glad he threw in there that he was sane, just to contradict the facts. Now he was pitifully crazed. They sought the reason. The boy said he had been in the habit of smoking something which youthful friends called muggles, a childish name for marijuana.
Oh, I thought those were humans that weren't magical.
That's what I thought, right?
Yeah, muggles.
As this is written, a bill to give the federal government control over marijuana has been introduced in Congress.
Buy tobacco!
It has the backing of the United States Treasury Department, including the Bureau of Narcotics, through which Uncle Sam fights the dope evil. It is a revenue bill modeled after other narcotic laws which make use of the taxing power to bring about regulation and control.
Control, that's the fucking word right there.
Anslinger characterizes Licata's hallucinations as a marijuana-induced dream, in notes he took of the case. Quote, a 21-year-old boy in Florida, all capitals, killed his parents.
Boy, he's 21 years old, but he's a
21-year-old boy.
Yeah.
2 brothers and a sister while under the influence of a marijuana dream, which he later described to law enforcement officials. He told rambling stories of being attacked in his bedroom by his uncle, a strange old woman, and 2 men and 2 women, whom he said hacked off his arms and otherwise mutilated him. Later in the dream,
maybe there was a group of people there.
Maybe there was, yeah.
You know, like I said, that's how his mind fucking interprets it.
So that's kind of what they use his story for.
Yeah.
While we're talking about weed, though, let's get into the history of weed real quick.
Okay.
Man.
I started my senior year. Senior year, it was Christmas break.
Never looked back.
I have not.
So in the early 1600s, the British government encouraged colonial farmers to produce hemp. And
it's strong. It's good.
By 1619, the Virginia Assembly, they actually passed a law that required farmers to grow it.
Yeah.
So, we used to like it. 19th century.
Tobacco had a big part in its illegal, making it illegal too.
Yeah. So in the 19th century, hemp production started going down because more potent forms of cannabis were used as ingredients and medicines. They used to be sold in pharmacies. Here's one of the real reasons why it's also been always regulated since the early days. After the Mexican Revolution of 1910, a wave of Mexican immigrants poured into the southwestern U.S., and helped popularize the recreational use of the drug.
Hell yeah. Cheech and Chong.
As the drug became more popular, it was negatively associated with Mexican immigrants.
Aww.
Anti-drug campaigners began to warn against the encroaching marijuana menace, describing the terrible crimes attributed to the drug.
The marijuana Mexican menaces. Menaces?
And then widespread unemployment and poverty during the Great Depression. That further fueled resentment and fear of immigrants and minorities. And then that, of course...
Shit don't change.
They started looking at the drugs that were associated with those people. Harry Anslinger that we've talked about, he insisted that marijuana led to insanity, criminality, and death. And then by 1931, 29 states had outlawed it. So, when he killed his family, they were, right in the middle of of them trying to get rid of this shit. Then, of course, Reefer Madness in 1936 helped fuel hysteria about the drug. The film centers on a series of hyperbolic events that ensue when innocent young high school students are lured into trying marijuana.
Yep.
From a hit-and-run accident to manslaughter, suicide, attempted rape, hallucinations, and a rapid descent into
playing
madness.
The piano like a madman.
That's the real danger of marijuana. There was a national propaganda campaign against the evil weed. The Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was passed by Congress, which led to the first time the drug was regulated and taxed by the government. It effectively criminalized marijuana, outlawing its possession and for sale, and restricting it to individuals who paid a tax for certain authorized medical and industrial uses. Widespread, and then of course in the '60s we had the hippies with it. Then we started getting more science. I mean, there started being more like what's the word I'm looking for? Research into the effects and everything.
I've been researching it myself for a
Right.
little bit.
Do you draw any conclusions?
Pizza's good.
You just So Presidents John Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson both had commissioned reports, and both reports had found that marijuana use did not induce violence or lead to the use of heavier drugs. Like it's not a gateway drug.
No.
But then Nixon came in to presidency, and he basically hated hippies.
Sure.
He just had like a real stick
like
up
Cartman
his ass.
off of South Park.
Yes, he was the
God dang
impetus
hippies!
for Cartman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Nixon
an
basically
awful Cartman.
just hates hippies for whatever reason, and he went to war on drugs. As a way to really get to them. He placed, because of him and his Controlled Substances Act of 1970, cannabis was placed alongside heroin and LSD
That is insane.
as a Schedule I drug, which is the most restrictive category, reserved for drugs deemed to have no medical benefit and the highest potential for abuse.
I used to think Nixon was cool till that. No. I'm just kidding.
And again, this was more of a reflection on his, hatred of hippie culture and the counterculture. Scott C. Martin, a history professor at Bowling Green State University,
Ohio.
Yeah, he wrote in Time magazine that Schedule I designation, he said, made it difficult even for physicians or scientists to procure marijuana for research studies. In fact, the bipartisan Schaefer Commission, an investigative committee appointed by Nixon to study drug abuse in America, they even went on to recommend that possession of small amounts of marijuana be decriminalized. So this was back like in the 70s. And, it's a commission appointed by Nixon.
But once something's done, it's so hard to undo it.
But even there, like they're appointed by Nixon, and they're just like, hey, like we should probably ease up a little bit.
Yeah.
But in 1972, a year after Nixon declared his war on drugs, the commission presented its findings to Congress in a report titled "Marijuana: A Signal of Misunderstanding." It noted that most marijuana users were not dangerous at all, but rather more timid, drowsy, and passive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It concluded that cannabis did not pose any widespread danger to society and recommended using social measures other than criminalization to discourage its use. In response to the nation's increasingly restrictive drug laws, the commission stated, unless present policy is redirected, we will perpetuate the same problems, tolerate the same social costs, and find ourselves, as we do now, no further along the road to a more rational legal and social approach than we were in 1914. So in 1970-something, they reference back to how, hey, we need to quit doing the shit we're doing.
Yeah.
And now we're at 2020, and we're still fighting this goddamn fight.
But I think we're
a lot of progress.
Yeah.
So Nixon rejected the commission's findings, his commission that he put together. He rejected their findings, went ahead with his anti-drug agenda, and the following year, Congress created the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, which was a merger of the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs and the Office of Drug Abuse Law Enforcement. So, yay, we got the DEA. Then we got fucking Reagan.
Yep.
In 1986, he signed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act.
I thought Reagan was more against crack and stuff, but it was just kind of everything balled
anything
together.
that they could arrest black people for.
Yeah.
Notorious racist Ronald Reagan. The legislation had actually been championed by Democrats, because whatever, Democrats no better than, anyways,
Yeah.
who saw a political opportunity to outdo Republicans by getting tough on drugs.
Oh.
So this shift was kind of a response, though. At the time, Boston Celtics star draft picked Len Bias. He had just died from a cocaine overdose.
Yeah.
So,
What year was that, did you say? Like 86?
86, yeah. The law increased federal penalties for the sale and possession of an array of drugs, including marijuana, with the penalties based on the amount of the drug involved. Under the law, possession of 100 marijuana plants received the same penalty as possession of 100 grams of heroin. A later amendment established the 3 strikes and you're out policy, requiring life sentences for repeat drug offenders. In the wake of the law,
I'm 2 strikes away, and I'm worried.
At the time of the law's enactment in 86, there were roughly 400,000 inmates in America's prison system. By 2015, the population had nearly quadrupled to a peak of almost 1.5 million. Marijuana arrests factored heavily in this increase, accounting for more than half of all drug arrests, mostly for possession. African Americans were, and still continue to be, arrested at dramatically higher rates than whites, despite similar rates of usage, according to the ACLU. So, yeah, these drug laws just really fucked over minority communities, and they were pushed by Biden. They've been pushed by Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a long line of just
Towing the line.
shitty towing the line. Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the story of Victor Licata, the axe murderer who had some problems, clearly,
Yeah.
and was used as the poster child for
I'd
the
like to
anti-drug.
try that. I'd like to try that strain, that axe murderer strain.
Whatever he was on, man, the dream sounded crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he might have had some like LSD laced.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of with you where it seems.
I've had LSD laced mushrooms, which is a weird thing to do because mushrooms are supposed to make you trip, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I ate them, and I expecting a mushroom trip had a total fucking LSD trip. It was pretty awful.
So the LSD overpowered the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Or maybe the combination of them led to a bad trip.
I don't know, but it was one of my worst trips. I didn't axe murder anybody.
Well, that you know of.
Yeah. I played King Griffey baseball on Nintendo, and
Were you actually playing Nintendo Griffey baseball, or were you swinging an axe at someone's head?
I don't know.
King Griffey. Wait, the King Griffey on Super Nintendo?
64.
Oh,
Jesus, I wasn't tripping when I was like 12.
Well, I mean, I have a 64. I have a Super Nintendo now.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But this is like when it was...
King Griffey Jr.'s winning run on Super Nintendo,
Uh-huh.
or it was either winning a run or Major League Baseball. They had 2 of them. One is super good.
The one on
Where
64 is
everybody's
really
muscles
fun.
are huge.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everybody looks, yeah. So, yeah, you killed somebody in your dream.
All right.
Or your trip.
Well, yeah, I got to blame it on the drugs.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, kind of like you said, it's kind of hard to believe that a 5'8",
Yeah.
100 and some pound guy murders 5 people with an axe.
Because I would think the first swing is not going to be... couldn't imagine your very first axe swing to someone's head is going to be a death blow. I feel
Like you're
it's-
just lopping off heads.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to be a little timid at first and just... I've tried to axe wood, you know? Like, I missed more than I didn't. So you're like, where is this going?
Yeah, I've tried cut off a head.
Why
with
did you
an
bring an axe tonight?
I like it. It's a nice axe.
No, that's my
Yeah,
kind.
it's not easy to just fucking like cut. It's not like in cartoons and stuff where somebody swings an axe and they lop off a head.
Yeah,
Like you're probably not cutting through the whole thing with one swipe.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, so it'd be hard to kill 5 people.
Yeah.
I mean, but if they have 2 bathrooms, who knows how big this house is?
Ah, man, it's probably huge.
It's probably a big house.
Yeah, he could have been sneaking around on people. I don't know.
So yeah, I'm going with I don't know. The mafia thing has some leverage, but you know who knows? Or he just heavy sleepers, different rooms.
Yeah,
You know, maybe he did something to them before.
made like snuck some weed into them.
Something, yeah. So, but yeah, you know that's his story.
Man, good to get back to some murder.
His
he really
story helped
brought it.
fuel the drug war.
Uh-huh.
So
I'm a victim of that drug war.
You are.
Yeah, me and Victor are kind of like
Family tree somehow.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut from the same cloth.
Right.
Just some sweet, sweet boys. Just trying,
Wouldn't axe murder anybody.
Nuh-uh.
Well, man, do you have what are we calling this? We're calling this Joel's Feel Goods? Is that what you want to call it?
Feel Goods. Yeah, sure. I just have a couple stories that I thought maybe
New little segment here. Joel's Feel Goods.
Yeah, we went back to murder. That was a pretty good murder story. But these are stories that don't involve murder.
All right.
The first little story is Rabbit Hash, Kentucky.
Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. I like it.
It's a population of 2,000, or in 2018, it had a population of 426. That's it. Small town.
It's almost
Up there,
420.
it's on the Ohio River.
Sounds nice.
But they just got a new mayor, and the new mayor is a six-month-old French bulldog named Wilbur.
What?
Yeah,
A
cute little
6-month-old
Wilbur.
bulldog named
In fact,
Wilbur.
Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, has never had an actual human as the mayor.
Okay.
The tradition emerged in the late 90s. They just thought it would be, like a fun way to, I guess,
Show how useless mayors are.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And Wilbur's actually the 5th dog mayor.
All right.
Big paws to fill, too.
Okay, yeah.
Big paws to
Yeah.
fill. Let's see. The first mayor was a dog named Goofy. I don't think it was the one from Mickey Mouse.
But, can you say that for sure?
Nope. I couldn't find it in my story. The most recent was a pit bull named Bryn. Brynn, like Bryn.
Okay. Like, how's it spelled?
Brynn was the
like Bryn.
before Wilbur. That was Bryn, and he was mayor for 4 years.
Oh, who's a good mayor?
Oh, he's a bust. He was a pit bull.
Okay.
And they said, although it's not political, the vote is always coincided with the presidential election.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so Rabbit Hash, Kentucky, but unfortunately, a whistleblower stunned the town when after the election. Do you know what they revealed?
Oh, did the mayor go poop on the carpet again?
The mayor pooped on the carpet.
Oh, did he rub his face in it?
He also had dead cats votes for him.
Ah.
Yeah, even though the population is only 426, he got 1,000 votes.
He rigged the election.
Yep. They put him down.
Oh, he was a good boy.
He was.
Until he wasn't. Until he tried to steal the election.
It went to his head. It went to his head. He wanted to be mayor that bad.
Man, it's rough to be mayor.
Politics. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game.
It's a dirty game. Oh,
So that was pretty
can't believe
good.
the mayor pooped on the carpet.
He's still a good boy. If you look it up, you should put a picture of Wilbur up. That last part didn't really happen.
Well,
that's us having fun.
I do remember reading that.
That dogs, isn't that fun?
I do remember reading that story because I was like, I want to live there.
Yeah, a dog mayor?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I
But
think they had like a chicken as a mayor once. If I remember.
This is the story I read was that might be a different town. This one says it's always been a dog. There's been 5 dog mayors.
There's a town somewhere that has like a different animal every year. There was like a chicken once.
Wow.
Yeah, like I want to live in one of these towns.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. They smoke weed in that town.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, dog's a mayor. Blah. The next story happens in Ogden, Utah.
Ogden, Utah.
5-year-old Adrian Zamparipa.
Zamparipa.
Zamparripa. Adrian. I was calling him that.
Let's call him Yo, Adrian.
Little 5-year-old Adrian got pulled over
Okay.
in Utah
All right.
after driving 2 miles through town and actually got on the Interstate 15. 5 years old.
5 years old.
Adrian's
How
sister.
far out of town?
He drove 2 miles
2 miles
through town
Okay.
to get to the interstate.
Okay.
Adrian's sister was babysitting and fell asleep, and Adrian just grabbed the keys and got in the car and was like basically standing. They said like when the cop pulled him over, he was basically like just leaned, against the front of the seat.
Oh, he was putting out signals, just like leaning up against the car.
He was driving, but the way he was driving, he wasn't sitting. He was like standing, like trying to reach the pedals with
I thought
his
you were
little
saying
tippy
like
toes.
when the cops found him, he was like the car was parked, and he was like leaning against the car, like "What up, bitches?"
Yeah, he's like, "What's up? I've been expecting you."
Yeah.
So his sister fell asleep. He stole the keys, and apparently Adrian had never driven before. He said,
Wow, that's
is what he told
crazy.
the police. But he also told the police he was headed to California to purchase a Lamborghini.
Okay.
And they said that he had $3 in his little 5-year-old wallet.
Yeah, I mean, if any car salesman does not sell this adorable little bastard Lamborghini for $3,
I just drove from Utah to California. I'm 5 years old.
I drove from Utah.
I'm this many. I'm
five.
this many. And the cop gave Adrian credit. He was actually headed in the right direction.
Well,
I
like this kid.
He was on the way. The cop said he told Adrian that he was a very good driver. However, the story took a dark turn.
Oh no!
When they opened up the trunk.
Oh no!
Do you know what they found?
He's 5. He wants a $3. What do 5-year-olds do? Fortnite victims? Like, did he go and find them?
He was a drug mule. He had 77 pounds of marijuana. I thought I would tie this together.
That movie that Clint Eastwood was in when he was an 80-year-old man. Yep, this is the reverse.
And he, at that point, Adrian tried to run.
Okay.
And the cop shot him in the back.
Okay, so Adrian was black.
Yep.
Okay. So we know that much for sure. Context clues. Yeah.
And so and they
5-year-old Adrian doing big things out there.
Yep. That's pretty. Drove 2 miles through town, and the cops. There's like video footage from the cop actually didn't turn his camera off, and like the cop walking up to the car and stuff, and like you see little Adrian driving, or like.
What do you even do as a cop? Like
how? Like you walk up to a suspect, or you see a car swerving. The cop said they thought it was an intoxicated driver, because obviously he's swerving. He's probably real herky. I can't believe he made it 2 miles.
Right. How did he? So you said he was standing?
Yeah, like he was kind of standing. Imagine Mini-Me trying to drive a car.
So he's like standing on the gas.
Yeah, like his little butt's like leaning against the front.
Okay.
So he's not really sitting on the seat. He's
Yeah.
probably standing there trying to look up over the steering wheel.
He made it 2 miles and onto the interstate.
Because he wanted to go to California to buy a Lamborghini with $3 in his pocket.
Well,
and the sister, who's I guess is like 15, they were like interviewed her, and she's like, I can't even drive. I'm a girl. So Adrian's got the biggest balls of any 5-year-old I've ever met or heard of.
Yeah, I mean he's got more balls than brains, that's for sure.
Yeah, but those are my feel goods.
All right, I liked him. I feel better.
Just quick little stories.
I felt better than I did when we started. So mission accomplished with Joel's feel goods.
Aw, that's good.
Yeah, so hope you guys dug this one. We'll be back next week with a movie review.
And I think I'm gonna bring the next story.
A mammer.
Yep.
And yeah, then after that, Joel will have the next story. Maybe we'll do Reefer Madness as the next movie review. So I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't remember much about it.
Well, you're probably high when you're watching it.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll be back next week with the movie review. Until then, make sure you're following us on all the things. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel.
I drive a blue Kia Forte. Just follow me around town.
Follow Joel
Stalk
around town.
me, man. I need it.
We might start doing some gaming stuff. I did
you twitched.
Phasmophobia on Twitch the other night with
and I bailed.
Paul, #1 Dad PG is how you can find him on Twitch. It was fun. It was like you pick which ghost story or like what location you want to go look for ghosts at. And like you have all the equipment like EMF readers and thermal lights and voice boxes and things like that. And you got to go into the house and try to capture evidence.
That there's a ghost.
But then like all of a sudden the ghost will start hunting you.
Oh. And
you've got to like hide. And I was terrible with the controls.
So did you have to use a control with the keyboard or did you have a controller? So how would 2 players do that?
Well, so
just
like
take turns?
No. Like you're both playing at the same time.
Okay.
Like multiplayer.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I could not. Like, I would get stuck on doors. It was not good. So I got killed a couple times. But yeah, it's a fun game. But then I found out that my computer is not really built to run it. My computer's a couple years old. So
it's
like,
a podcast computer.
There was a lot of lag.
Yeah.
But we might do some stuff where I got a lot of retro games.
Yep.
So we might start doing. I'll be doing some Twitch stream stuff with it. You guys can follow. I'll try to get Joel over here to do some of it too. But that is at twitch.tv/Jameson Tiger. JamesonTiger.
Jameson Tiger.
Jameson Tiger. It's my. I use it for a couple things. I needed a username one night, so I looked at my desk and I had a bottle of Jameson.
And you're
And
a
then
little tiger.
I
remember your tiger you had
I used to
here.
have like a little plastic tiger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made. So it's Jameson Tiger. And I recently made.
I didn't think that I could lose any more respect for you.
I'm fine with it.
No.
I already told you that my AOL Instant Messenger screen name used to be Slurpee, emo flavored Slurpee. So I mean, I can't fall any
That
farther.
was rock bottom for my.
That was
respect
rock
for
bottom.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't mind going, wherever. This might make you lose more self-respect or more respect for me. I also went ahead here the past week, made a TikTok.
Oh.
Same name, Jameson Tiger. Doing some dumb videos on there. So check those out.
Now TikTok's like where it can only be.
It can be anywhere from 15 seconds to 60 seconds.
Okay.
And
Vine was kind of like that too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Vine was, I think, all
6?
15 seconds or
Okay.
7 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
It was something I didn't appreciate Vine until it was gone, and then I
Okay.
started watching compilation videos. And like,
So it's gone now?
Yeah, they got rid of it. So TikTok's the new.
Okay.
There's shit on. Like, I laugh. I started following because of an account about a groundhog. These people just have a pet groundhog that lives in their backyard.
Oh, cool.
Like, it's a wild groundhog, but it just started like coming up to them. So there's all these videos of them like of it eating, and it's the most adorable thing ever. So I started like the TikTok just to follow these animals doing crazy things. And then like there are so many fucking funny people. Like, it's ridiculous how many people in the world are so much funnier than I am. But so I
believe it.
Thank you, man. So I started following a bunch of those. But then I've made a couple of my own little videos.
Cool.
And I'll be keeping.
So how can they find you on TikTok?
So you just search for the name Jameson Tiger.
Oh yeah, Jameson Tiger.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along on that,
let's TikTok together. Let's do a TikTok
have one?
video. No.
Okay,
but, I mean,
I'll make one sometime.
Yeah, I'll jump on yours.
Yeah, we'll do a little video to
I was like, no.
for the podcast. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to accuse you of such things.
I'm social media at my max. Like, I'm Twitter,
Right, I hear
Facebook,
you.
and Instagram, and I can't.
I hear you. You're not on a Parlor. You're not on Parlor.
No, I don't think white people are really much better than anybody else. I think we're all pretty equal.
Yeah, I also don't ever want to join a group that's just white people.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, I was saying, Parler's mostly racist people.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I do.
That's kind of the vibe I've been getting.
No, it
from
definitely is.
Okay.
It's, a bunch of white nationalists.
Yeah. Oh, I can't talk about how much I hate everyone on Facebook, and
Yeah.
Facebook is trying to censor my shit.
And they said that Parlor is.
Where I called Kamala Harris a slut or something, and
Now I'm not. Now they're trying to arrest me for it. Take away my goddamn guns.
I guess on Parler too, you have to like give a driver's license or something like that. Like I don't know. I just see people's posts about it, but I think like it's like I've seen people's like theories that like they made it just so they can track these people too. Because like that's why you have to give so much information.
But I think
to
it's been
start
around
up.
for a while.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's been around for a little bit. It used to be used like forget.
And you're on there as Porcelain Tiger.
Porcelain Tiger.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's very white tiger. Yeah, no, I'm not on there.
Okay.
But yeah, there was somebody that used it, like that was predominantly using this app, and I forget who it was, but like it has to suck for them now that it's a fucking white nationalist, like Nazi chat room. Basically,
it's like a Ted Nugent fan club.
yeah,
now.
yeah. I forget what group it was that was using it for stuff, but they've got to be like, shit,
Yeah.
time to move on.
Yeah.
Maybe what was WWE's app there for a while they were using? Remember when they would have like it was like a video, it was like a Vine.
Oh yeah.
What was that called?
I don't know. Shit.
Can't
They
remember
pushed
now.
that thing so hard.
pushed
It
it
was
for,
just
like,
like,
a month.
fuck you.
Yeah. I never had that. But yeah, so you can find us on. You can find me on there, Jameson Tiger,
Not Parlor.
not Parlor. No,
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok and Twitch. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us 5 stars. Give us 5 stars. Leave us a little review. And again, thanks to Noah.
Don't leave us less than 4 stars.
Right. If you leave us
Like
less,
if you hate this, just give us 4, and we'll know that you hate us.
I mean, if you leave us less than 5 stars, I'm personally offended,
Yeah.
and I'm taking it.
I'd be okay with
personal.
4. I think we're
You
solid.
have low quality.
We're solid. We're a solid 4-star show.
Yeah.
You take that blanket off, we might get to a 5th star.
We'd be a 3 if we're middle age.
If I had hair, we would definitely be a solid 5-star
That's right.
show.
We'd be 6.
Yeah, oh
We'd
yeah.
be 6 stars.
You'd have to invent a number higher than 5. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Thanks, Noah, for the listener submitted story.
Yeah, Noah, thanks.
Again, if you guys want us to read a story that you have, shoot us an email. Middle-aged
Or just shoot us.
mediocre@gmail.com.
Please, just shoot us.
Shoot us to where we can come back and do an episode about it, though.
Oh, yeah, ghost us.
I want to use our. Well, no, we wouldn't be ghosts.
Oh.
Did you say ghost us?
Yeah, make us ghost.
We could. I mean, yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can podcast as ghosts, because that sounds awesome. You got anything else?
No.
No, that's about it from you. Wait, my mouth froze up.
That's about it from you, isn't it? Yes.
All right, well, say goodnight, Joel.
Good night, Joel.